Okay, let's begin our class. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Today I will talk about the pancreas disease. As usual, we will review the anatomy and the pathology and the psychology, physiology of the pancreas. We all know the cervix is related very closely with the anatomy and physiology. So we will review the pancreas anatomy. We all know pancreas can be divided into 4 parts, and the pancreatic head, neck, body, and tail. Head is pancreatic head, and the pancreatic neck, and body and tail. We can see here, osmotic process. There is a process neighboring the head, and in this hollow, SMV and SMA run from this part. And pancreas is a lateral peritoneal organ. It's a lateral peritoneal organ, and in the lumbar, the first lumbar, the second lumbar, horizontal. So when a patient a symptom, the patients will feel pain in back, and in the level of lumbar, the first and the second lumbar. And after we remove the stomach and omentum, we can see the pancreas anterior. This is the pancreatic head and neck and body and tail. We all know the head was surrounded by duodenum, the C-shaped duodenum. And this is the oscillate process. This is the pancreatic neck. Behind the neck, SMA, superior mesenteric artery, and superior mesenteric vein was run behind the pancreatic neck, and the body and the tail. The tail is neighboring with the spleen. And we all know in 1642, Watson has found the pancreas have a duct, the main pancreatic duct. So we also call this duct, main pancreatic duct is also, we call it Watson duct. And Vater in 1720, he found the pancreatic duct and the common bile duct was connected one, and forming an ampulla. This is ampulla. Forming an ampulla, just a common pathway, ampulla. So we also call this ampulla is Vater ampulla. And in 1734, Santorini has found an accessory duct. So this accessory duct also called Santorini duct. This is Santorini duct. Santorini duct. This Watson duct. This fat ampulla.
Actually, the Santorini duct is present in all the patients, or some of the patients.
Santorini is a doctor.
Is it that?
Is a doctor.
Is present in all the patients?
No.
Some.
But almost all the patients, almost all the men and women have Watson duct, but only a little patient has Santorini duct. Let's look at the blood supply of the pancreas. In the head of the pancreas, the blood supply mainly from the gastroduodenal artery and SMA. From the gastroduodenal artery, we can see superior duodenal pancreatic artery. This came from gastroduodenal artery. This is a superior pancreatic-duodenal artery. And inferior pancreatic-duodenal artery is came from the SMA. So the head is blood supplies come from gastroduodenal as SMA. But the body of the pancreas, the blood supply mainly from the splenic artery. The splenic artery came and many of artery, many medullary artery and transverse pancreatic artery. This is transverse pancreatic artery. This is splenic artery. The vein drainage. Vein drainage made into the splenic vein. This is SMV. This is portal vein. So the portal vein is behind of the neck of the pancreas. This is inferior mesenteric vein. The lymphatic drainage of pancreas main related to the surgery. If we have the patient suffering from pancreatic cancer, the cancer cell may be drained to the lymph node. The lymph node, mainly the lymph node is along the artery. This is a common liver artery. This is gastroduodenal artery. This is SMA. This is splenic artery. So the lymph node mainly accompany with the artery. This is a common pathway, very important in pancreatic disease. That means fat ampulla. The common bile duct and pancreatic duct were formed into one pathway. This pathway we call the fat ampulla. And this papilla of the duodenum. So about the physiology of the pancreas. The pancreas can be divided into exocrine part and endocrine part. Exocrine and endocrine part. The exocrine part may be related to the digestive function and can produce pancreatic juice. In pancreatic juice, they are composed of the the fluid and the enzyme. The fluid may be the bicarbonate, and the enzyme include the digestive enzyme, amylase, lipase, and trypsin. So, because of pancreatic juice is full of bicarbonate, so the pH of the pancreatic juice is basic. It's about 8.0. If one patient lose a lot of pancreatic juice, he will suffer from acidosis. About the endocrine part, we all know pancreatic have islet cells. In the islet cells, there are a lot of cells, such as A cells, beta cells, D cells, G cells. Every cells in the islet can produce different hormones. The most important is beta cells can produce insulin, and A cells can produce glycagon, and G cells can produce gastrin. So in the islet, the cells in the eye flaps can produce a lot of hormone. If proliferation of the beta cells, the pancreas, the islet will produce a lot of insulin. In that time, insulinoma will occur. So, in the pancreas disease, we will talk about the pancreatitis and the pancreatic tumor. The first class, we will talk about pancreatitis. The pancreatitis include acute and chronic. The pancreatic cancer can divide into exocrine tumor and endocrinal tumor. So most important is acute pancreatitis and pancreatic cancer. Now we'll talk about the acute pancreatitis. Acute pancreatitis is a common acute abdomen. So, as a doctor, when a patient sees a doctor, if he feels abdominal pain, just acute abdomen, we should think about the patient whether he is suffering from pancreatitis. In acute abdomen, we also know acute appendicitis and bone obstruction, GI perforation, and cholecystitis and cholangitis. After that, we will think about the patient whether he suffers from pancreatitis. So pancreatitis is common. Every patient suffers from abdominal pain. We should think the patient whether he is pancreatitis or not. And the pancreatitis not only have local inflammatory change, also have systemic change. Systemic change just means the SIRS, just a systemic inflammatory response syndrome. The SIRS will develop into or progress into MODS, multiple organ dysfunction syndrome. So, acute pancreatitis is very dangerous disease. It's life-threatening. And the acute abdomen means abrupt onset, and the severity is variable selective and duration. If the patient is very light, so the patient can cover very quickly. If it is very severe, so the duration will be very long, and mortality and morbidity is very high. So also it is self-limited. It's an inflammatory response. But if develop to severe, so we will remarkable morbidity and mortality. The next is the etiology of the pancreas. The biliary tract disease is most common in China. But in Western country, the abuse of ethanol is the most common cause. In China, many patients suffer from biliary tract stones, both in intrahepatic and extrahepatic stones, and gallbladder stones. These stones will fall from the biliary tree and will stay in the ampulla. So the pressure, the bile will enter the pancreatic duct and activate the enzyme in the pancreatic duct, and pancreatitis occurs. But in Western country, abuse of ethanol is the most common. So we should know in China, many people suffer from biliary tract disease, but in Western country, abuse of ethanol and alcoholism is the most common. Except these two common causes, there are also several causes will induce acute pancreatitis, just as overmeal diet and drugs and ischemia of pancreas and ERCP will also cause acute pancreatitis, and hypercalcemia, hyperlipidemia, and infections, and etc.
How ethanol affects the pancreas? How abuse of ethanol, how it affects the pancreas?
How it affects abuse of ethanol will cause chronic pancreatitis. Will use fibrosis of the pancreas. So in patient with chronic pancreatitis, he always will suffer acute onset.
How does ERCP cause this acute pancreatitis?
ERCP, we will know. ERCP will have a stent into the pancreatic duct or pancreatic or common bile duct.
Yeah.
So the intestine juice will into the pancreatic duct and induce acute pancreatitis. It's very common. But almost all the majority of the acute pancreatitis induced by ERCP is mild. So a lot of causes may induce acute pancreatitis. So the pathogenesis, just why this cause can induce acute pancreatitis. The reflux of the bile or duodenal juice. We all know a stone stays in the ampulla. So the bile cannot into the duodenum. The pressure in the common bile duct is high. So the bile enter enter the pancreatic duct, and activate the enzyme. Activate the enzyme. After meal, after alcohol, we will vomiting. When vomiting, the pressure in the GI, the duodenum, the stomach, the pressure is very high. So the juice, the duodenal juice and the intestinal juice, all the gastric juice will into the pancreatic duct. So the enzyme was activated in the pancreatic duct. So mainly, the first activated enzyme was trypsinogen. But in psychology, in physiology, we also have pancreatic juice, but we have no pancreatitis. Why? Because in normal people, the normal people, we also thymogens in the pancreatic duct. These thymogens into the duodenum, into the intestine. These thymogens was activated in intestine. But in pancreatitis, these thymogens were activated in pancreatic duct. So these will digest the pancreas. So in fact, the pancreatitis is self-digesting. The pancreas was digested by the enzyme.
And it will take like normal digestion. Like for example, it will take 1 day, and 1 day the whole duct will be digested. And 1 day.
1 day.
Yeah. So the duct will be digested.
No.
Completely.
No. If in mild patient, in mild acute pancreatitis, in fact, this injury is very mild, will not digest it in 1 day. But in severe patient, it is possible.
So in mild patients, how long it will take?
How long it will take?
For the duct to be digested?
Maybe die. This patient maybe die. It's very severe. Maybe permanent. So it is the enzyme activity, the tissues destruction, and ischemia necrosis in the pancreas. And it is importantly, the pathological type and clinical type. In clinically, we can divide acute pancreatitis into 3 types. Just a mild acute pancreatitis and a severe and a permanent acute pancreatitis. The 3 types acute pancreatitis. And in pathologically, mild acute pancreatitis mainly manifested with edema of the pancreas. But the severe acute pancreatitis, we also can see hemorrhage and necrosis of the pancreas. So pathologically, we call it acute enzymatic pancreatitis and acute hemorrhagic and necrotic pancreatitis. Pathological edema, in clinically we call it mild acute pancreatitis. If pathologically we can find hemorrhagic and necrotic, in clinical we call it severe acute pancreatitis. But some patients